Hey friends, Josh here, founder of Technical Writer HQ. In this video, I'll explain the transition from software engineer to technical writer. Technical writing is a fascinating world in which you can have a very successful career. Not only that, career in technical writing can offer you a hefty salary that you've always wanted. And did you know that if you have experience as a software engineer in particular, the transition to a technical writer is even easier than you may think? If you are a software engineer and you're thinking of making the leap to technical writing, in this video, I'll tell you everything you need to know about the topic to start your career in technical writing. So get ready to take notes because we're about to start. So how do you transition to a technical writer as a software engineer? The first step is always the hardest. When you transition to technical writing, you'll likely have a hard time writing consistently. But don't be discouraged. Consistency is vital in this career, so the more you write, the more you get used to it. If you have experience in software development, that's also a great plus. This knowledge is the point of convergence between technical writers and software engineers. It should be noted that this knowledge will help you better understand and later explain the technical aspects better. If you're lucky, getting into technical writing can be as easy as applying for such a position at your current company. That's if you have the technical knowledge, the contacts, and a desire to dabble in technical writing. If this is not the case, don't be discouraged. If you are passionate about technical writing, there are several options for you to enter into this world. For instance, take a technical writing course. Whether you have a lot of technical writing skills or you think there are things you need to learn, taking a course is always a good idea. Remember to combine your technical knowledge with concise, fluent, and compelling writing. And depending on how much you need to polish your writing skills and understanding of both the product development lifecycle as well as document lifecycle, this can take some time. And there are excellent online academies like Technical Writer HQ that offer knowledge you need to succeed as a technical writer, and you'll get a technical writing certification for your resume. And in particular, our certification specializes for people who want to jump into software technical writing. And this is often the best option for those who are looking to get a jump start but don't want to go back to college or apply for an internship. You should also connect with other professionals. It's always good to have contacts, even better if they are related to technical writing. On sites like LinkedIn or Reddit, you can connect with thousands of other technical writers who can help you make the transition easier. Reach out, interview them, ask questions, and get an idea of the industry that they work in. Maintaining good relationships with your former coworkers is also a good idea since you never know who your gateway to your dream job might be. And you should also include an example portfolio on your resume worthy of a technical writer. A portfolio is the easiest way for an employer to know the value you can add. Take some time out of your schedule and create documentation around the industry you want to get into. Then host the documents online and link to them right on your resume. Here's an example of an engineer from our online course at Technical Writer HQ who did just that and got a $150K plus job offer from Amazon. It really does make a difference. Your cover letter and resume should also include all your most relevant experience as an engineer, so relevant to documentation. This will demonstrate your ability to write good technical documentation if you keep the experience relevant to it. You also want to expand your knowledge of the industry. If you have worked in the technology industry, it means that you have enough experience and knowledge to start within some area of tech. However, you need a different approach to be an excellent technical writer. Because as a technical writer, you'll have to explain complex concepts to your target audience. Unlike you, your target audience is not an expert on the subject. Ideally, you specialize in a specific industry, have skills at connecting with and interviewing experts within this industry, and are willing to step out of your comfort zone to learn about topics like, let's say, marketing or software design, which will help you turn complex information into technical documentation that your target audience can understand. After all, technical writing isn't just writing. It's often illustration, whether that's using a tool like Figma or Adobe XD. Next here is you want to set realistic goals. If you're just starting in technical writing, writing full-time may be too much of a challenge for you. So what you should do is set realistic goals that you can meet as you progress, whether that be as a software engineer or in your transition. And that way you can build the habit of writing consistently and writing every day. For example, one goal you can set is to write error-free drafts. As a technical writer, reviewing and editing documentation to meet expectations will always be a must. If you start improving your drafts until they become error-free documentation, you'll have dramatically improved your copy and will be closer to becoming a great technical writer. And now that you know your options to start in technical writing, let's go ahead and dive into the skills that you must have to work as a technical writer. So what skills do you need to be a technical writer? The technical writer is a hybrid between a conventional writer and an engineer. These are some of the essential skills that every technical writer should have. We have communication. Communicating is not always easy. That's why technical writing is so challenging at times and pays well. Technical writers need to constantly communicate effectively with their team, including product managers, product designers, engineers, QA, and support, as they research to gather information, as they provide feedback within the product development cycle and document development cycle. And their interview and team communication skills will reflect on the quality of their documentation. They should also have technical knowledge. Having experience writing code, working with the product development cycle, or engineering physical products is great. However, technical knowledge is not just limited to that. You'll need an extensive understanding of the industry you are writing for and keeping up with the technology industry in general. And knowing more about your team, R&D, and project management and marketing is also a good idea, since this knowledge will allow you to advance your career as a technical writer. It's important to have a strong understanding of the ecosystem of the business that you're in. And you should be a great researcher. Lousy research is the perfect recipe for disaster. As a technical writer, you must handle a wide variety of sources and databases. So hone your research skills to create excellent technical copy. This often means keeping a well-maintained internal and external knowledge base to more efficiently extract the information you need. And you have to be great at writing. It's not just about having good grammar and spelling though. It's also about structure, format, and conciseness. That means understanding how to use tables and graphs to display information, how to write proper vertical lists and subtopics. Moreover, how to structure each paragraph to begin with the most important point. And of course, you can't just be good at writing, you have to be good at editing. Like any profession related to writing, it's necessary to have knowledge of the editing cycle. As a technical writer, you must often edit your copy to suit the audiences you are trying to reach. And although technical writers and technical editors may exist in some companies, it's always advisable to develop your editing skills. You should also have a deep understanding of the technical verification process that happens within editing. This is where you need a subject matter expert to review your work. Combining one or more of these skills will help you jumpstart your career as a technical writer. So what happens when you become a technical writer? Your responsibilities as a technical writer will vary according to who you write for, the user or the company. If you write for the user, you should not explain the complex process of creating software or product. Your target audience is interested in receiving the information in a way that they understand and is actionable for their needs. They're likely not engineers unless you're writing something like API documentation or other engineering documentation. And they would not understand complex terms and processes as someone with technical knowledge would. And this is actually why software engineers who become technical writers can make a lot of money. It's because they have enough knowledge to write to the segment of expert technical users like other engineers. And that's a rare skill to find. On the other hand, you may be tasked to write internal documentation. For example, the product management team does not have the technical knowledge necessary to understand the process of creating and developing a software or product. However, they must know such information to do their job. You may help the team develop complex project requirement documents and document the code base for easier onboarding of future software engineers. Research and editing your documentation is also part of your responsibilities as a technical writer. This field gives very little room for error, so you should always review your work to ensure that everything is perfect, or at least almost perfect. Then ensure to take it one step further and conduct a technical review with a subject matter expert or experts. This may possibly be a lead engineer, product manager, or another person who understands best the feature, product, or process that you're documenting. In addition, according to the progress of the software development team, you must modify the technical documentation so that it keeps up to date with the innovations made to the product. It's important to use software here to help this process. For example, you don't want to have to edit a feature name 1,000 times manually across all your docs if the team decides to update it. And documentation software enables you to scale these updates. So it's important to understand the documentation software that you're using, whether it's built internally or you're using an external provider. Fulfilling your assigned responsibilities will help you advance your career as a technical writer. And with the progress will also come desired raises. Sounds great, right? And that brings us to the next point. How much does a technical writer earn? Well, technical writing is a high-paying job. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics indicates that the average salary for a technical writer is $74,650 a year. but in some companies, technical writers can earn more than $100,000 a year. If you come from a software engineering background, you can make well over $120,000 a year. And I've heard of technical writers from engineering backgrounds making over $200,000 a year. Though that's a little bit more of an exception, it is possible. Additionally, vacancies for this job position are expected to reach 5,500 next year, and the demand for technical writers increases every year. And so do the benefits that companies offer to obtain the services of a good technical writer. So what are the benefits of going from a software engineer to a technical writer? While both jobs are great, there are some benefits technical writers have over their engineering colleagues that are often pointed out online. And you can find these, whether that be on Quora, on Reddit, of people complaining about their engineering jobs and why they're decided to switch over to a technical writer position. Well, first off, you have less strict deadlines. Technical writers have just a couple of deadlines, the product launch and the update. And there's less back and forth. The technical writer faces fewer bugs than an engineer, so their job can seem less stressful. You also interact with many other teams. As a technical writer, you'll interact with different teams, whether that be design, support, QA, all within the company, and not just the development team. As you can see, transitioning from a software engineer to a technical writer can be a great idea. Not only will you expand your knowledge and skills, but you also take advantage of the technical knowledge and experience you have to enter a field that's in high demand. And there we have it. I'm excited for you to make that transition. If you're ready to do so, then check out our technical writing certification course on Technical Writer HQ to help you do just that. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment box, and I'll see you on some of our following videos. Cheers.